Good morning, everyone. It is 10:03. Today's is internal matters it's May, so we'll be in public until 2:30, and then the rest of the afternoon will be in camera. So the first thing is the adoption of the agenda. Any additions or deletions? I don't see any additions. Okay.
Can we add in just a quick, because I know I brought this up before about the church and just closing, like locking the door. I think it'd be good if after, like, during our luncheon, if we can go and take a look at the church. Just, it's easier to see it than trying to describe it. And what I'm asking for is just to seal up the broken windows and making sure nobody can get inside with them.
I would totally agree with that. It's a hazard. If something you get hurt in there, so we can go to lunch.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, just a quick view to see what the state is in. Because,
I thought we agreed on something like that.
yeah, it was sent to the elders.
Yeah.
I thought a lot there too, because he's an engineer.
Yeah, but it's gotten worse.
Oh, no.
Any more additions or deletions? So the church at lunchtime,
Sure.
Field trip.
field trip down the street. Hey, can I get adoption of the agenda? By Josh, seconded by Kyle. Minutes from August 2nd. Incremental review after. First action item, focus will send it to the city of Belmont. We've been, topic has been,
Yes, I send it. So there is something the perfect time to discuss about. So I got an email from the CEO of City of Belmont yesterday. So what she is telling, so that is like a little bit interesting. Not only interesting, it is surprising. So he was telling that in the C2C session, if they could, I'm reading the exact email. I thought that apparently there is an exciting development. I have been asked whether it would be possible to have an MOU between LTT and SIM signed at the C.
so they approved it. So George, Limprol from SIM, the MOU we sent off to him. He approved it. He was just bringing it to council, then he was gonna get back to me, and then he wanted to have an event either here or there, or maybe halfway in between. And then he never got back to me, so I said, well, we do have a meeting with Belmont in October. Maybe we could work it, he goes, yeah, we'll try and work it in there with them. So but he was just waiting, because he had to bring it to his council, so I think he approved it. His council approved it, so.
Nice.
Okay, so that is what I got from her, that LTT and SIM signed at CSC. So I responded that thanks for your note. MOU and LTT SIM is developing its strengths to best of my knowledge, and I have to ask our council members if they want that to happen in CSC meeting with Belmont. So I'm presently proposal to council and will circle back. That is what I responded. So should I respond then?
Yes.
We'll do it, and
Yes.
we're saying, and
Yes.
it's halfway in between.
Yeah. I
So
think
that's our October.
October.
yeah, our October, in Belmont.
I think like Belmont already sent a meeting invitation to all council members already.
And I'll email Sim to confirm that it passed their council, because that was the last I heard, that he phoned and said he had a council meeting that night. He hasn't phoned.
Yeah, okay.
And that was with our changes.
Yeah, with our changes.
So they accepted with our change.
And no
Okay.
Tommy has sent over a spreadsheet to Copic. And that's it. That's kind of good news. I think it's like the burning MOU.
Yeah.
Move forward. Okay, can I get adoption of the minute? Consent. Motion carried. They have all the agenda too. Yeah, the agenda. Okay. Josh, motion. Motion carried. Okay, first one on our agenda is bond with capital. Central.
The council member of the report to the chance.
Okay, good one. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning. So, just before I begin, do you want me to include the procurement policy discussion within my time period today?
Sure,
Sure.
you're quick.
So, first one is the travel management. So, basically, I was trying to find out a solution for centralizing our travel management system. Right now, what we are doing is using one booking agent for our air travels, and all hotel travels are, or hotel bookings are like scattered wherever we can get some good pricing and stuff. So in our research, what I found is we could go to a centralized system. There are a couple of systems out there available. After discussing with a few, the most feasible one we found out is called Corporate Travelers. It's a really straightforward thing. In front of you, you can see the charges are provided in there. What this thing will do, this thing will provide us with an access to a website essentially, which is a booking website, which is called Melon. Is their trademarked platform. So if we have a dedicated person who is managing all the travels, which we do, that person can go in and book their hotel and everything. And what it does for us is it provides us with pre-negotiated rates, which are in most cases lower than what we can find when we go online or whatever. However, if there is a situation where we are going to a particular conference, workshop, or something like that, and a pre-existing booking rate is already available, then we can also have that if that doesn't match with the pre-negotiated rate by corporate travelers. Let's say corporate travelers has a rate with Sheraton Toronto at $300, but we are able to get $250 for a particular workshop. We can also access $250 instead of $300, but we can do it through the platform. The benefit for finance would be they would have access to every single booking or every single transaction in one platform. They don't have to run to the hotels or anywhere to get the transactions or get the invoices, anything like that. It saves us from double charges. It saves us from the people who are traveling but do not have a credit card, company credit card, and we don't anymore need that. Because it will be on in credit terms. So the hotel will charge corporate travelers and you will get the invoice afterwards. So
Wow.
People will show their credit cards when they check in.
no,
Oh, thank
nothing
God.
will be required. So basically it's all kind of paid. So that's essentially the credit card of the corporate travelers, right? And we just go out there, have our bookings, and we should be all set.
Nice.
Nice.
The charges are, so as you can see, so there is a booking fee for if we are doing with a consultant. So I have talked about a website, right? A platform where we can go online. There is an option if we need to talk to someone, a real person. For example, we need to do some changes. We're not being able to do it through the system, or we need to make some changes in air travel or something like that. So the booking fee for any air-related booking is $35. We pay more than that. We pay $45 right now through the travel agent we use. Any changes we need to do for all bookings, hotel or air, will be subject to a fee of $35 as well. And if we need to prepay the hotel, in some cases, some hotels need prepayment, which is not always the case. If we need to prepay and we need to consult with the person in corporate travelers, and there will be a fee of $20. If we book online, there is no fee to book hotels. But even if we book online the air tickets, there will be a booking fee of $15.
Per booking.
Per booking, yes. So we will also need to pay an annual management fee of $1,000, which will give us the access to their system, generate the reports, and also they will add everybody, like whoever is traveling, and that could include the community members as well. Let's say there is an AGM or we need to book mass bookings for community members. So all the information they have to feed into the system so that we don't have to do it every single time. So to manage those things, they will charge an annual fee of $1,000. I have talked with our finance manager, Nasir, and we have kind of gone through the previous year's numbers, how those are looking. We do pay a lot more than that in terms of the agents when we utilize through our people and doing it separately. Also, the biggest thing is the reconciliation part of it. So finance can do it like very quickly, and there is only one single point of contact for finance, so that they don't have to kind of chase any documents or anything like that.
I will just add something with John. So what is the advantage of this system? One big advantage is like, say, for each travel, we need multiple things: registration, hotel booking, air ticket booking, travel claim. So the two phases, like the air ticket booking and hotel booking, that takes a lot of time. I mean, we need to send it to Uniglobe, and especially the hotel booking. And hotel booking, sometimes what we have experienced last few years, that say some platforms, they are only USD. So there are two currency conversion. So for example, Fairmont Vancouver, just use the platform of USD, US dollar. So when you pay US dollar, the conversion matters. So this type of thing, so the time is a huge save here, and the manpower we thought about that who's gonna do this. So basically, there will be multiple persons. So at least we have 3 backup. One backup will be in finance. The finance will have access direct, but they wouldn't do the booking. Second person is like will help, they take help from IT, an IT person, and the main person who gonna do this is like executive assistant, new executive assistant. New executive assistant, then IT, then finance. So basically within our own resources, we're gonna manage it. So we don't have like put a lot of hour to book in multiple places instead of just one booking platform. And that is that will be the manpower cost saving point there.
So what? A lot of travel from my program gets reimbursed. So even when I come back, I have to fill out all the stuff and send it to them, then they send the reimbursement. How would that work within this?
So same here. I have a lot of conferences or workshops
Yeah.
I go, or I send my teammates in are reimbursed as well.
Yes.
So that would still happen in the finance side of things. So we will not change our existing process.
Oh,
So let's say we will still need to take the approvals,
Yeah.
the travels and stuff. And
Yeah.
finance normally take care of the program cost and debit and credit.
Mhm.
For example, I want to spend $1,000 for travel from say 905,
Mhm.
and but that is coming out of 905 for now, and then I will receive that $1,000 back.
Mhm.
So that is a separate activity
Oh,
to
okay.
finance, which
Mhm.
is happening right now, and
Yeah.
which will happen in this way as well.
Oh, okay, so it'll just pretty much stay the same. Okay, cool.
In addition to that, so the process we're going to develop. So once this process is set up, council approved definitely. So is travel from, even if it is for membership from different service department, your department, health department, any other department, we're going to bring everything centralized.
Oh, okay.
Centralized means like, so reimbursement means like, we will reach our membership that if you need a hotel, please ask for the respective manager. That means like if you need to book somebody's any hotel, they will send you the request, you will send that one that you need to book this hotel. So not like you allow them to book your hotel, then we're gonna reimburse.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring everything in one platform. So that there is like the proper recording system. That if at any time of point throughout the year, if you want to see that who travel, which time, what purpose, the report will be generated from there. So
Nice.
now it is scattered.
Yeah.
So in all department,
Yeah.
it is, we don't have any information. We just code it in a TL, but that time it will be like reflected. We know that
Oh,
which
nice.
program is paid, how much money for travel. So you can identify
Cool.
it.
That's good.
Just one more thing to finish off this discussion is under this annual management fee of $1,000, if we end up at some point creating a travel policy which will say cap certain things or have certain regulations, we can also implement that within the system. So let's say we are allowing people to say managers or even down the line allowing to book their own things. If we have a certain travel policy implemented, we can also do that, and that will not exceed the management cost in here. They will just do it and manage it for this management fees. And like Tawfiq said, we can also track right now. If you ask how much money was spent,
Yeah.
certain program or even certain person, we can't say. Or we can say it takes hours to
Yeah.
find out, right? But in this way, it will be at the fingertip of finance.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It makes sense to me. I mean,
Yeah, it does,
it's
yeah.
a very centralized system, and there are so many organizations, especially bigger organizations, private organizations, who can't manage like for a certain or few people to manage travel. They use it, and they have big use.
Nice. Pretty soon we'll just have this awards button.
Yeah. So council member, it is like, if you agree on that, I think we would need a motion, number one. Number two, the implementation process will be, in parallel, you're gonna give a shot that how the process starts. It will be a 1 or 2 transactions you're gonna do, and then moving forward, you're gonna fully implement.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you need emotions. Like, can't you do this under admin?
I can do, But
Yeah.
typically they for
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing why I think Tofik is trying to mention that because it has an impact in the community level as well.
No.
Like let's say we are doing the bookings for community members in a certain way, and this will change the process a little bit. It's for betterment, but still it's a change, right? So just because it's just not only administration, it also directly affecting the community members. So
but the community members are receiving the work through the admin,
Yeah, I think that's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
like civil service, right? So it's,
Yeah, so if you are in agreement with this, like one, motion will be okay. It's okay that I don't need a motion, we can implement it. So how did you find yourself? Just a review that how is it? Like how did you feel it about implementation of this?
But
Makes sense.
Makes sense,
yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, very, because,
Yeah, it's cost effective.
Yes.
And
So we can
efficient.
access it online or something, right? Like after hours and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So there's not like, don't take.
No.
24/7.
And also the thing is, the person who will be there will be an account manager, so they are accessible. I wouldn't say 24/7 for the person themselves, but they are really quick. But online is accessible like whenever you want, right?
mm,
Okay. So the next item is Center of Excellence.
Yeah, Center of Excellence.
So, Center of Excellence thing is more like a little bit of update after what I have heard from Chris Boone on the phase one. So I have the GL or the information with me. So till today, we have about $85,000 unspent in the phase one. And we do have a 10% holdback with FNHA, which is about $65,000-ish, 60,000-ish. So altogether, it's about 150,000. So the idea was to kind of prepare an RFP, and just because I mean, the consultants have done their job. So Tofik initially asked me if I could do the RFP. So I have prepared an RFP. So the scope of the RFP is basically two major segments. One is the business plan, like what we will do in a particular location or wherever the Center of Excellence is built. And second part is providing them with a couple of options and see which one's most feasible. So that's the goal of the feasibility study, and that was not in the phase one specifically. What I have been told is that should be a phase two activity. What we wanted to do is utilize this 150,000 and start on the RFP process. When we publish the RFP, we will receive some responses and we'll see how much it costs, right? Whoever wants to take this job, they may say, okay, this is a $250,000 job or whatever, we don't know. At that point of time, if we publish the RFP now, then we receive some responses and we will be able to amend the contract with the contribution agreement with FNHA, saying that, okay, we need X amount, 150 plus X amount of dollars to do the RFP, and that X amount of dollars should come from the phase two. So that is kind of the idea, so that we can jump into this. I know that I have been reviewing a few previous contracts and stuff. One thing is the initial email which came from Chris Boone was in July, which basically told admin, like Tofik, that we need to do some amendments and stuff. However, after I have it's delegated to me, and then I have to talk with FNHA. I have found out that we needed to do it by end of June, like June 30th, where the contribution agreement actually expired. Now, a little bit of problem. I think we'll fix it, but what we have to do is basically we have to go back through the ministry and get a new contribution agreement amendment. So we can amend the existing agreement. So that will be a little bit of time-consuming process and process-consuming thing, like a little bit of red tape to kind of.
Please don't miss that part.
Yeah, so she never mentioned it, and she also said that FNHA is aware. But after I discussed with FNHA, they don't know anything. And they didn't know anything. They didn't know what our plans are. So I filled them in, and they said it might be doable, but they didn't confirm yet that amendment. But I want to make it clear, they didn't confirm yet that they will do it. They said, okay, sounds like it's a good plan, but let us talk through it and let us talk to the ministry, and we'll see what we can do. That's their response as of yesterday. So the action plan is basically to, I think we should go ahead with the RFP anyways,
Yes.
because that doesn't hurt. And after I have prepared the RFP, I have sent it to Chris a few weeks ago to see if she has any feedback on it, right? Just because she has done the work and they should know more. What she suggested is not to have the business case in it because she thinks that it might not be doable within 150,000. But I differed in that opinion, because if I put out an RFP for a location that do a feasibility, this location or this location is suitable. The first question I need to answer is what you are doing, right? So without a business case, without a project plan or operational plan, there is no point of doing a feasibility. So she agreed that later on, and only point they thought is like it's not doable in 150. And my point is it doesn't have to be 150. It could be more, right?
Yeah.
But we only when we will know when we have the proposal. That will give us a little bit of leverage to utilize the budget, even if we have to amend that budget when we have the contribution agreement with FNHA, so that we are not doing this again in phase 2, but doing it at the beginning of phase 2.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that action plan in that case then would be to publish the RFP. That's what I need your approval for. And once that comes in, I would like to be in touch with Chris Bone so that everyone is in the same page, like she knows what I'm doing, I know what she's doing, and FNHA is kind of in the loop as well.
And
Yeah.
safety.
And NCFT and the province,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Motion.
And I will need to be introduced to FNHA. They don't wanna give any information to me. They don't want to give any documents or anything until
I'll introduce in the meeting. We'll
Yeah.
send the email to Minister Whiteside because she's the one who based it.
So, motion to approve the RFP process for phase 2.
Yeah, so for feasibility motion to approve to publish an RFP to get proposals on the feasibility study for proposed central facilities.
So, the motion's on the table. Do we have a mover? Crystal, seconded by Josh. All in favor? Carried.
Before I finish on this one as well, Chair, I'm planning, like, that a little bit of organizational chart changes. I'll try to delegate the activity within my team because when I'm not here because of leave and stuff, so that it's taken care of. So that would be the plan, but I need to streamline it first, then delegate.
But you will be still supervising, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Everything needs to be supervised.
Okay.
Yeah. So I assume it's community special project.
Oh, 2 weeks is gonna panic. Say he's put away.
Should I?
Yes, Rachel is coming up.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Okay. Next thing is Ancient Forest Enhancement Project. So, a lot of things to discuss in here. I'll keep it brief as much as I can. So, updates are a little bit of recap. So, the design consultant for the boardwalk is Scouten Engineering. the interpretive center consultant is Scott Kemp, the architect. So I have let him choose his subs. So structural, mechanical, electrical. He's dealing with his subs, whatever he's comfortable with. And the construction manager for until we can have a tender, that is we are calling phase one construction management, is a PRD construction. So what we have done so far in last few weeks is try to price out the design of the boardwalk and also the interpretive center. Now, the boardwalk is basically segmented into 6 sections. So one section is completely new. There is nothing. We have to build that section. There are a few sections where there is an existing boardwalk. We could probably escape replacing a few things and kind of renovating it. And there are a few 2 sections which needs replacement completely. It's just gone. Like it can't pass a structural integrity and won't be signed by a structural engineer. And the last piece is a platform, viewing platform we want to do for the waterfall near the water. Without the viewing platform, the cost is roughly 5 million. Which was initially, if you remember, was close to 10 with lots of assumption through Cooper administration. So that's where we are at with boardwalk. Now we are trying to play with few things. For example, one is metal rail and handle. We're trying to see if we can still have a railing but have wood on top of it and utilize 2x4s as a handlebar instead of metal railing. Just to give you a perspective, if we can get rid of the metal handbars, we can save $500,000 right there.
Wow.
So we're trying to minimize that cost because I'm working with 8.4 million, right? And by now, we don't have 8.4 million anymore. We have, say, 7, right? A little bit over 7, but safe to say 7. If I spend 5 in there, then I'm left with 2. 2 is not going to be enough for interpretive center, how we are designing it. So when we are costing it, the interpretive center, without having the structural design yet in hand, the costing is about 3 plus. So we are somewhere 8 plus. With contingency and etc., it's going to be a little bit more. Right? That's where we are at right now. Approach right now is to see where we can shave off some costs before we go for tender. And our target time is next spring. I will let you know about the cost approval. So the process is for this project is every month or every interval we are spending some money. We are providing a report to the province and they are auditing it and giving us 90% back, whatever is eligible, deemed eligible by them. That means if we put forward $100 bill and $100 is eligible, let's say, we only get 90. So the 10% the band is supposed to pay, we have been paying it. It's not like we are getting the 100% cost, whatever we are spending, and then we put forward 10%. So we have spent 10% of whatever we have spent so far. And until today, no project management cost or band staff cost had been approved by the province or federal government. I don't know if you know this. So far, any cost which has been produced to federal government or through provincial government to federal government, no project management cost, like staff cost. We had project manager and full-time project coordinator before, right? No cost was approved. So the battle is on. So the approach I'm taking is I have been going by fiscal years, right? So fiscal year 2021, 2022, 2023, and going by that, so far no words. Province said federal government did not approve it yet. The reason they're saying so far, I have that in writing, that it was not pre-approved. It had to be pre-approved before we spend it. So that is the reason they're coming up with. my argument from our side is, how do you expect us to manage this project without a project manager? And we didn't spend any other project management firm or any other form of project management cost in this one. So how the work which has happened, right?
So, just a quick question. So, the project started back in 2020 or 21, end of
Yeah.
2021. So during that time, when the project started, so, our past project manager was, passed away.
Yeah.
Karen Sharp, sorry. So Karen Sharp, she was hired for the project, exclusively for the project, right? And to my best understanding, during that time, it was like her, being project manager, she was approved. But
Approved by whom? So that is the problem here. I have gone through every single document I could find, and I have gone through the project personnel, Laird, through, he is the main person from the province side. It was never approached to the province, or it was never in the contribution agreement or in the contract we had for the total $8.4 million. So it was never approved through the funding agency, where they are in principle in agreement with us that yes, you need it. But the thing is, why did you spend, and how do you prove that was the most economic or feasible way to do this the way you have done it? That's where it's coming at. And why did you need X amount of hours, X amount of people
Because that's
for something?
That's for Jason work too. Jason Congress.
yeah, so even like, so I see bureaucracy, bureaucracy. The reason is like, that now they're telling that, they told that your project stopped because you didn't work this much. And again, they're telling that we cannot fund you because it is not pre-approved. So somebody has to work for the position. Somebody has to work to do all this stuff.
Absolutely, I am in 100% of agreement. I do have a part-time project coordinator working in this right now, so I need to find out dollars to support that position as well. So
I would recommend Gavin for the UBCM advocating this part too.
Okay.
absolutely, yeah, that's where I was coming at.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about it, like, hey, because we don't have a contact for federal government. We are being channeled through provincial government, and I think that's where some of the things are being lost.
Yeah.
And I can't afford it. I can't afford this project going forward if I don't have anyone.
Yeah.
And how I'm going to run it.
Yeah.
So this will need some
Yeah.
push for
Okay,
sure.
we'll
Okay.
put that one there then.
Mhm.
What about donations, like wood donations and stuff?
So regarding the wood donation, I have only talked with Glenn, and I have only talked with Shelton. If they could find any, or they can give us any leads, but any donation will be acceptable. PRD is looking for donations on behalf of us. They have asked me that if we are okay without discussing any of you. I said I don't think anyone will disagree that if any donation comes in, we should be okay.
Wasn't there McBride wanted to do something, didn't they?
Yeah, we should do a letter. It's ancient forest, it's not only ours, it's one in BC, only one in the world. And yeah, we'll hit up every mill there is.
Yeah, 'cause I'm pretty sure McBride going way back wanted to.
I have a letter from Village of McBride, which would say what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything else have been done afterwards, but I will tell you something in here. So the boardwalk itself can have different types of lumber. Right now, we are going with a perforated type of special lumber, which is cheaper. So for the boardwalk, we have estimated that might need now about 800,000. Where if we want to go with cedar, it will be at least 1.8 to $2 million in today's value. So we are not going with cedar.
Yeah.
So we have to find out a cost efficient material to kind of get that work done.
Question, then topic.
So when it comes to repurposing, the people that made the walkway before, was it the ranchers?
Yeah.
Weren't they repurposing a lot of the cedar that had fallen into making the boardwalk? Is that something we do as well?
So only difference between what have happened and what we are doing right now is the difference of safety and signing off on the construction. So if I go out and say work, invest my own time and material, people will accept it or not, doesn't matter. But when we do it from freely and we are doing the project, then we need an engineer to sign off, and there are certain things they will not accept. For example, there are certain requirements which needs to pass for being a handrail. Whatever is in there in the universal boardwalk, we are not being able to match the same thing because that we, according to the building code, we can't build it. And that's where the problem is. Like we could have escaped for a few spots. Just we don't want to do anything in that, but we are adding it, like, so this is one spot and then you are walking from this spot to that spot. Whoever is making this spot need to make sure the next spot is safe, and this particular portion and the next particular portion is being done by one engineer, so they have to make sure that the in between spots where no work is being done is still structurally integrated. And that's where the problem is. We don't have a whole lot of options. But the best case scenario is what we are doing right now, that segmented, and if we can kind of skip in that way, then this segment is totally not part of the project. That way probably we can make that happen.
Yeah, council member, just came a thought. So, as I understand, like from the project that you are in a funding deficiency. So, we do one thing, like if we determine the deficiency parts, funding deficiency part is like for material, for labor, for professional services like professional engineering side. And we are so good in our government to government activities like the city of Prince-George Regional District, city of McBride, village of McBride, Belmont. So if we identify those parts, that these are the things like we are doing Asian forest, but the funding that it was allocated, it is like so minimal. So we need help from the government and tourism Prince-George too. Because tourism Prince-George is another organization. And we tell them that, okay, we need funding of this much of the amount if we do it ourselves, but you have a scope to participate through these services. Services means you provide the material, we don't mind. You provide these engineering services, we don't mind. You provide the labor, we don't mind. We'll accept it and engage there. So this type of thing in the government to government, if we can put them that this is the thing, so even like we can request mayor that, okay, you take the engineering part. That we need someone that those we're gonna save the cost. You take a regional district, we tell them that, okay, you give the material, give something else. Village of McBride, you can ask something from them. Tourism Prince-George, you do the tourism every part, so you contribute something there.
I mean, tourism I know has contributed in the past. I'm not sure the extent, but I know that there was some supports. So I can see.
Anything would help.
Yeah.
Our next is next GTG meeting, we can bring it up.
Oh, Robert?
Good morning. I didn't hear if anybody thought maybe we're thinking about getting like money or things to build the boardwalk out there. What about Canfor? Approaching them and asking them if they'd be willing to donate wood and stuff like that. I mean, we have a good working relationship with them, do we not?
Yeah, we're gonna do a letter and we're gonna send it out to every mill, because it's not just like today's ancient forest, it's northern BC's gem.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, and
Okay,
then we'll,
thanks.
Nate will even hit up the lumber stores,
So
cedar lumber and stuff like that.
Hardware stores.
Hardware stores.
just step out for 1 second and tell Resi to let me. Okay.
Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
I did. Oh, I see.
Weird.
There.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Microphone and also the sound. Okay, I'll show you something in here quickly. So what you can see is the breakdown, or probably you can see. So we have done general requirements, interpretive center, general requirements, boardwalk, and general requirements combined. So the approach is we want to do the boardwalk and the interpretive center at the same time. That's how we save on lot of mobilization, demobilization, worker costs, camp setup, and all of that. Then boardwalk demolition. Demolition means where we need to replace a lot of it. Boardwalk reconstruction, where we have to reconstruct whether it's new or the demolished part. Then the interpretive site work, all of those things. You can see metal handling in there. So we are trying to do MicroPro Sienna for lumbers because that is cheaper and that is most suitable because it has an antifungal coating in that, and for a wet condition, which is ancient forest is a perfect example of the application of this kind of material. We want to utilize that, and we don't want to utilize cedar. And then interpretive center finishes mechanical and electrical. And if I move there directly, so the subtotal is about 9. Contingency, if we end up having a construction manager, which we probably would have to, so that it is synchronized. The subtotal right now is at 10, and that doesn't include the completion permits. There will be some permits, and why we didn't include it, we're hoping BC Parks will take care of it all. That's what our understanding is so far. And professional design related any costs, which they didn't consider, which is not a huge amount, like 100,000, 200,000 roughly around that. We have paid almost all of it anyways. So here's, let's say if we go ahead and want to do it, the estimation of the project is 10. So where we can save, let me zoom out a little bit. Can you still see? So see here, metal hand railing, right? So metal hand railing is 430, right? So if we can eliminate that, that's something we're trying to do. There are some, I wouldn't lie, there are some gray areas in BC building codes, and it doesn't really specify what we are trying to kind of make a bevel a little bit, which is grabbable. If it's something graspable, then it should qualify as a handrail. So that's what we are trying to do. We have taken that consideration out that we need to widen it more than 4 feet to make it accessible, because we can't make it accessible in every places anyways because there are stairs. Right, so we have taken that part out. That saved some sort of money, and also if we could remove the architectural design says that there is a big concrete pad in front of the interpretive center, which in my opinion is not needed at this point. We could have it gravel and still have a fire pit on it. That's somewhere. That's something we want to kind of shave some costs from. And the final piece is the staff accommodation inside the interpretive center. We don't want to do fancy lumbers inside. We want to have the aesthetics outside, but we want to do stick framing, like regular stick framing for inside, because it's not adding any value for inside accommodation piece of things. Right? So that should save quite a bit of money as well. So what cost doesn't have right at this moment, as I said, the platform cost. How much money we would probably need for adding the platform, which shouldn't break the bank. So this is the detailed Excel. I'm not going to go through this, but this is the detailed Excel. So once we reach out to someone, like let's say any government or any other organization who wants to donate, we can actually pinpoint the costs. And that was the major reason why I needed a construction manager for this job, because I wanted to have this information ready before I tendered it out. so that I have a solid base to compare. And if we want to get some donations or somewhere, we exactly know what it's for and how much it costs.
So because like I said, this is a Northern BC Canada project. And all these electrical, cement, all has to go to bid, right?
Yeah.
And
Every
Can-
single
can
one
we
needs to go
legally
to that.
ask them what they will do in kind? Like,
Use-
take some off of their bid.
Absolutely, we
As
can.
for
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
For the Port Agent
Yeah.
Force, not for Blazing Snake,
We
for
can.
Agent Force.
That is another thing. Didn't want to discuss this today, but there's two options how we want to tender it. So we can tender it everything all together. For example, how we tendered the wastewater project,
Okay.
or we can make sub segments in the tender package. Let's say tender electrical separately, tender mechanical separately, tender the civil construction separately. We can do that way as well. So legally, there is no problem. And I think the second option would be suitable if we end up having something and we can alter the amounts or the whatever quantity, volume we need. We can definitely do that. No problem. And that is why it is important. So we can approach people. They will ask what we need. Right? We have to be able to tell what we need, what we want.
Councilor, do you want to consider something like call for a G2G meeting? Special G2G meeting for them, the tourism, everyone and any lumber company around there. Meet together and then we tell them that, okay, you take in kind what you're gonna take. Then the reason is like, John is to understand that if you give the tender in a whole, if you did benefit, all like it is a segment wise. So if we get the assurance of the material or something like from some company, then probably John can determine that if it is like segmented, that is more feasible.
Robert?
It's going to be a long shot, but maybe in the amounts of or people that we're going to be organizations we're going to be asking for donations from, maybe ask Jimmy Pattison. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, that's
He just-
Canfor.
Yeah, I mean, but directly talking to Jimmy Pattison and sending him a personal letter. I mean, that's I'm sure just explaining like in just a condensed form summary of what we're kind of looking for. You never know, right? I mean, the guy,
Yeah.
he's a pretty giving man too, right? So
Mm-hmm. Okay. We should do that. I would, special meeting.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah,
Too.
I do too.
I would get Todd, because he knows everybody. He knows everybody everywhere.
So, you know, drop it later, then we're gonna,
A special meeting.
It's a nice-
And possibly we'll do a letter.
okay.
And because that is a better idea, because if they're all there, we put them on the spot.
Yes.
It's gonna be like, oh shit, we can't let this do what?
Yeah.
How do you prefer time? I can give a time frame to talk.
By October? Before?
If sooner is better,
Yeah.
Sooner?
but by October is fine. I mean, we are still working on it, right? So it's okay.
We are in August, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's September?
Okay.
So,
I thought we were, for some reason I was thinking we were in September, so sometime in September.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, special meeting sometime in September.
I can still do that to that meeting.
Okay. So next one. Oh, you're not done that, sorry.
In September, in October? Or September?
September.
Thank you.
So regarding the interpretive center, I'm trying to understand a little bit more about it. So in the interpretive center, did we want to have some sort of exhibition or exhibit items inside the interpretive center? I need that information because we are doing the structural design right now, right? So if we, let's say for example, we plan to have something from Exploration Place or whatever, I don't know. I'm just throwing that names out. If we plan something like that, we need to know now, then after.
What about security valuables and things like that?
Yeah, so once we kind of start operational plan, so it will be staffed, right? So we can think about security as well. So it really, staffing really depends on the operation itself. So what we want to do. So if we can determine that these are the things we want to do, that will give me a baseline to think about going forward, how we are designing the operation, how many people we need, what type of people we need, and all of that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What about winter?
It's not going to be for winter. We have to kind of run it for the summer. And once the season's over, we have to pack it, bring it back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So just thinking about exhibits, I know it's such a moist climate. One of the issues we have is keeping that moisture out of the artifacts, but that doesn't mean that we can't have an area where we can showcase a lot of those cultural artifacts, quote unquote, that are being remade by our community, because then there'd be funding that can actually be accessed for teaching people how to make the birch bark baskets or the old knives, and then we put the community members' artifacts in there so people can actually see that continuation of traditional knowledge. So there might be, which means you would have to have that AAA class, facility to keep it, at the right temperature, UV rays, and moisture, because
Yeah.
cycle through. And then it's reconnecting our people back to all our traditional crafts.
Exactly. So that is exactly why I need that information now, because they are doing the structural. So if you tell me that we need specific temperature and moisture control, that's gonna be something to look at, because that will require some special mechanical additions to it, and that we have to count for in terms of cost. Or it also means that we could make it ready for, if you want to do something like that for later. That's possible as well. But I just need to know what the intention is, and the layout is, so it's a arc-shaped building. So to the very left, it is the staff accommodation. Then it's a theater kind of setting, which can be a theater, which can become big hall room for any functions or anything. Then it will be the display area kind of. We wish to have an inside fire pit as well. We are trying to accommodate an inside fire pit, so any ceremonies or anything which can happen inside as well. That again adds to it, but we're trying to see how we are cost wise. And then the other arc is the office area, the reception or whatever, and then the staff area, staff accommodation. So that's how it's laid out. And in the back of the display area, there will be an enclosed space which can be utilized as storage, or that can be utilized for ribbon making, skirt making, those kind of activity. That could be an activity / storage room. That's how it is planned so far.
Josh.
Yeah, if there was some sort of space where we could display artifacts, because it's not technically a museum or anything like that, what we could do is the issue that we had is there's a lot of archaeological artifacts, so the stone tools and everything that had been found in the territories, you can't actually, if the moisture wouldn't affect it, but then it comes down to any security because they're protected by the archaeological laws of Canada. But what we could do is we actually 3D print a replica and make it look similar to that and use those as displays.
That's a good.
That would be cool.
And that way you see something that's similar to what it is,
Yeah.
but it won't be affected by it. And then if it's stolen, you just reprint another one.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That'd be
But this also gives the people opportunity to actually hold the artifacts as well, right? So they actually feel the arrowheads of the knives and
Yeah.
just 3D printed to look
Nice.
real.
How much space do you think we need?
It really depends because when we're looking at everything, do we want to put baskets in there? Do we want to put the bone knives in there? Do we want to put copper knives in there? Do we want to put CMTs in there? Do we want to put the archaeological evidence in there? It really looks at it as a based on the artifacts. What are you looking for and what period? So if you aren't from the beginning of time to now, if you need a room this size, a bookshelf this size. So if we're looking at artifacts, it would be good to try to find artifacts that are tied to the territory, but more tied to the ancient rainforest as well. So looking at the things that would have been pulled from there or that would have been made in that region.
So what we are thinking is it could be, if it is replicas, then it could be open and, a shelf kind of a setting with lights and stuff. So it looks nice and,
And then the cost goes way down.
right? All right, okay, so I like that idea because
Yeah.
it makes a lot of.
Oh. Sorry, can I just make a comment? Yeah, because like I remember when Shanu and well the kids were in grade school at Blackburn, they did a field trip to ancient forest, like three different schools went with them. And when they did that field trip, they asked the kids to collect stuff, from the ground and whatnot. And then when they got back to the parking lot area, they had all this like things there so the kids could do art, like an art mural of what they collected and just do a little blurb of what they think. When did this leaf fall off the tree, or things like that. That was kind of cool that they did that. I still have theirs, by the way, when they did that. So things like that too, really interesting to have in the thing like that. Kids, just a little corner for kids that stick up, not take it down after so long, but just something that the kids can put in the corner somewhere and tack it on or something of what they think or saw or whatever at the ancient forest.
Yeah, nice. Good to know that. So, couple more pieces of information. We're trying to make it's going to be off grid as we are planning for now, because we can't get BC Hydro in there unless BC Hydro wants to donate. I did talk to now that if there is any possibility, the nearest pole is 3.2 kilometers away. If we want to do it, it will be easy $1 million. We don't want to do that. That's why we are designing everything in a way so that it's off grid, it can be solar powered, and we are very mindful of designing anything which consumes electricity.
Council member, so I had a meeting with NGs last week, with people last. So they're still interested. They told me that okay, if you find any project for credit in it, we're gonna definitely consider we're gonna figure to donate or so we can probably include NGs too in this project.
Donation, yeah.
Yeah, Appalachian Forest.
We need 3D printer.
Yeah. Josh can get to work.
And the last piece is for ancient forest is for now, we are not in discussion with the ancient forest working group, all the elders, except for I think his name is Professor Darwin Thompson, who is the specialist on the plants and stuff, so that we don't get invasive too much than we can. We are thinking about reconstruction, demolition, and we need his expertise. Except for him, we are not anymore engaging at this point, because now we already know that what kind of have been visioned for that particular project. If we bring, no disrespect, but if we bring too many people in there who are not necessarily all from technical backgrounds, then it becomes time consuming, right? And it adds up really quickly.
In terms of affecting the
Yeah, it adds up really, very quickly. And when I know that everyone wants a beautiful thing, but it's affordability as well, right? What we can do and what we can't. And it becomes really difficult conversation that why we can't do something, right? So if that's okay, that we are going into that direction. When we feel that we need some more information from the working group, we will reach back out to them. But for now, we are more focusing on how to get this thing going on the ground.
Yeah.
By next spring. Okay, that's all for ancient first.
Okay, now. We just have one more.
Yeah, do the one more.
Well, that was the little one.
Yeah, the other one.
The
So
little one.
the Northern Health lease update is I have after I think 2 weeks talk to you, I have discussed with Northern Health. So they are willing to provide us with a service agreement essentially, which they want to call it, a lease agreement. The lease amount will be part of it. For service agreement, I did touch base with them with the community needs and the need for home cares and stuff. I haven't seen anything yet, but I wanted to officially update council about the discussion which is going on. They are not the fastest, but I do have one question that if we want to get them a date to move in, when the soonest we can offer the date, noting that we need some relocation.
So yeah, the relocation part, I'm gonna update you in camera session.
Okay.
But do they have any preference date? Like as soon as possible or like?
They want to do as soon as possible, but their as soon as possible might be a long process for us. So because after they have that confirmation from us, they have to do their in-house confirmation. They need to do certain things in there so that it's kind of matches what they need to have. And we need some time in there to do some renos as well. That is important for me. And as we are already in August, I can't do much after October. It would be difficult to get contractors.
So in the afternoon session, in camera session, I'll update council and I guess like I would be able to have get a decision from council.
Okay, for sure.
So you need the date, right?
Yeah, I need basically the date and topic. Okay, I'm looping in Anya from Lance, whatever. Okay, with Lance, so I will keep Lance posted. All right, so we can have a break and anything left is procurement policy.
So you have time, right? So procurement policy you can complete it today.
You want? Yeah, I will, but if
You have to take the break.
a
We'll
break.
take a 10-minute break. It's 11:10. We'll be back at 11:20.
I don't know, I don't think so.
Right here we are. You need to cancel.
If it's on for
Yeah.
that, yeah. So
and so on.
So I was asked to prepare a procurement policy by 2 week. Just a little bit of context. We have some procurement requirements in our finance policy, which is not elaborate. Basically says we need to get reports for purchases. It doesn't say when we have to get that. So to streamline our procurement process, and many things I have taken from the newly done federal procurement process, which has been in the works for Indigenous Services Canada for a while. So if we streamline with that, then it saves us and back and forth in many cases. So the purpose of this policy is obviously to guide decisions relating to purchase goods and services, any purchases, and the policy is intended to be public. So meaning it will be available in website and anyone can look at it. Conflict of interest, of course, anyone exercising their authority under this policy, meaning that whoever is making decisions will have to do the conflict of interest declaration if any particulars of a real or apparent conflict of interest related to that particular purchase, and abstaining from making a decision or any discussion related to that procurement if there is any conflict. So I will not go line by line on this one, but I will highlight the main things. So the call requirement. So when we say call, it means that it can be invited quote. Like there is a business, I can reach out and tell them, hey, this is the word. Can you provide us a quote or proposal? So a call must be issued for all purchases except in the circumstances described in section 7.3. So we have kept some exceptions, but a public call, which means that we have to post it online, especially in BC Bid or mostly in BC Bid, which is considered to be a largest platform for any consultants, contractors trying to get some work. For all purchases, we can expect a total price over $100,000, which is commensurating with IST's policy. Staff will endeavor to obtain a minimum of 3 bids where practicable. Why where practicable is because if there is something, let's say Ancient Forest Initial, only one wanted to purchase it, right? If we can't find anything, then we can't find anything else, especially for a public call. So when this is 7.3, so direct award. So call is not required in the following circumstances. Any general purchases with an expected total price of less than $1,500. So let's say we're buying groceries for Superstore for office or things like that, small items. That doesn't require anything. We can just utilize things. Go ahead, pay for it. Any O&M activity as per technical level of service for LTN assets with an expected total price of less than $10,000, which is, in my opinion, covers most of the day-to-day small ticket items. If it is not a big ticket item, it should be within $10,000. So this is basically any O&M activity which is undertaken under my department mostly. And all other purchases with an expected total price of less than $10,000, which is pre-approved by council in annual budget. So this is a budgetary control we want to emphasize here. So let's say something where it's already was approved in a budget, and say housing related appliances or say some minor repairs they have already identified in the budget, it is already accounted for. In that case, a call is not really necessary if it is under 10,000 and it is pre-approved in budget. So let's say something is under $10,000 but not identified in budget, call is required. If something is more than $10,000 identified in budget, call is also required. Okay. If there is any genuine emergency which requires the immediate purchase of goods and or services to prevent injury, damage, or further damage to restore or maintain minimum service, a call is not required. For example, we had a leak in a family development trailer earlier this year. If I needed a call, it would be like long shot, right? So where there is a genuine emergency, then a call is not required. provided the purchase is made with such competition as is practical in the circumstances, and this needs to be approved by, I have kept it blank. It's because I wanted your direction that who should approve it.
Well, what I would suggest here, according as per authorization matrix of legitimate. Authorization matrix means like if it comes from the department, so the department manager is first, then the director, then the executive director. If it is more than the capacity of executive director, it's gonna go to chief and council.
Okay, makes sense. Then number 3, if in respect of purchases with expected total price of less than $50,000, the Clegg executive director, which is within the executive director's authority, or in respect of purchases which is above 50,000, in that case, Clegg council. So that means A to E, if it is approved for anything less than 50,000 or by executive director or for over 50,000, if it is council, say that there is only one supplier reasonably available for that particular job, approves a written business case for not putting out a call. That means it's some sort of item we cannot put out a call because of we lose leverage or there is any requirement for the parties involved, stakeholder, something like that. That kind of situation determines that there is a time constraint that which reasonably limits the ability to put out a call. For example, any emergency, let's say we need to prepare a dike or something like related, in most cases with emergency responses, emergency services, determines that the goods or services being sought are of very specialized nature. For example, those micro core lumbers I'm talking about, not everyone makes it. Right. So in that case, I can't probably have 3 quotes, things like that. And approve the sole source purchase of second-hand goods, like we're purchasing something which is in accordance with our band member support policy, where it says that we will purchase things from band members. So there is a little bit of change we will make in here, not only second-hand goods, but also band member purchases through the in accordance with band member purchase policy. So in that cases, we don't need 3 quotes. There may not be 3 band members. Okay, so any questions up to this? Supplier list. So when we say we will do a call, that means we need to have a list of people whom we are asking for proposals from. So we will maintain a supplier list. So Clegg administration will maintain a list of suppliers that have registered with Clegg. The suppliers list will be made accessible to every manager and director of each LTFM department, so that whenever they have some work, they can reach out to them. In circumstances when public call is not required, staff are required to seek bids from supplier lists that have the necessary qualifications. Listed suppliers will be evaluated annually at the end of each fiscal year by the concerned LTFM department manager in some criteria. For example, the work which is being done, let's say by health, if I evaluate their work, it might not be the best, right? So it should be evaluated by the concerned department manager or the director, but this custodian of this supplier list will be myself. It will be held with my department. So the evaluation criteria will be cost, that how much we are paying, like is it above market, below market, at par, experience, how the reputation and experience have been of us with each supplier. Are they very good at service or they're not doing a great job? Schedule of deliverables, if they have been late in most of their jobs or something like that. Community benefits, if it is benefiting the community as whole. Environmental impact, if those purchases had any environmental impact, did they leave with any environmental concern when they're working in here? They left garbages or whatever, right? Public health, kind of the same thing. Best value, if they are being the most advantageous to us in all aspects. And additional criteria, if there is something specific, like let's say any specific type of work, say for example, we're doing dikes. We know that certain people who are on the list do not have their experience or expertise doing that kind of job. We might have to go outside and see who maybe there is someone who is not on the list but might be perfect for the job. It will be done by the best judgment. Again, for this one, everything else applies. Like it has to be less than $100,000, and within the authorization matrix, based on authorization matrix, the decision will be approved by individuals. So preferential treatment. So we wanted to keep some preferential treatment process. Preferential treatment means that when we receive, let's say, 3 proposals from certain vendors, we want to give preferences to certain people based on like the reason is to give some advantage to them, of course, verification of those businesses based on membership ownership, based on Cladely ownership. Let's say if there is 3 bids and one is coming from LTNE, right? We want to put some preference to them. If a company who is participating, they employ Cladely members, or it has some sort of indigenous ownership. And also there is a cap of how much preferential treatment someone can get. Let's say a $10 million project, if I give like 5% unlimited preferential treatment, then it would be a lot of money. Like no one can match it. So before I go there,
No, I think like we can explain a little bit here. So preferential treatment means like say the bid is like approximately $1 million. So say other two vendors, they provided a quote of like $1.1 million. Another person gave $1.12 million, and say taking a owner or like one of the own business or somebody membership owned business, they put like say $1.2 million. So the preferential treatment means like we're gonna consider factorize that 5% to $1.2 million for the membership owned company or the bank owned company. They're gonna reduce their bid price. So that is not a discount. So we give them a fair chance to come on board. That means like 5% we're going to consider that is not $1.2 million bid they provided. Instead of the $60,000 less, we're going to consider that. So if they successful bidder, they get a little chance to get on board for that particular project. This is not like we are giving them discount on the project. Instead, we give a little bit chance to get the project.
Yeah. So I have kept some examples in the policy. So let us go through an example just to make it clear. So let's say we have a project and we have multiple suppliers. So here, one supplier A, has 76% employees who are Cladely members. Supplier B is a member business, which is a 51% member owned, and 80% of employees are members. It's a very complicated example. Member business, number C is member business, which is 100% member owned. Supplier D is 51% Cladely owned. Supplier E is affiliated with an indigenous community. Supplier F subcontracts to a member business. And supplier G does not meet any preferential criteria, for example. Now let's say supplier A, B, and D, they are submitting bids. So again, A is 76% employees are members. B is member business, which is 51% member owned, and D is 51% Cladely owned, let's say LTN contracting. Now everyone, the initial bid price is $100,000, so they have received a deduction based on a formula, which is stipulated in detail in the policy. So we will think after putting the deduction that we will assume or we will behave in a way that supplier A has provided the bid for $92,500, supplier B has provided $90,000, and supplier D has provided $97,500. Although every one of them said we will need $100,000 to do the job. Does it make sense? Do you understand how it works? Okay. So why supplier A is $7,500? So because 7.5% deduction for if someone has more than 75% member employees, criteria for supplier B is met for 12.5% deduction, but the maximum deduction, if you remember, we will set a maximum deduction. So maximum deduction is 10%. So that's why they cannot get more than 10% of deduction. And supplier D has 2.5% deduction for more than 50% of clearly owned business. In this case, supplier B would be awarded for the contract provided everything else is same, right? Not only based on the cost, because we all know that we don't always go by the lowest cost. We want to do the lowest cost, but if they don't meet other criteria, for example, they don't have the liability insurance or something else, then that's a different story. But according to this, considering everything else is same, supplier B is being awarded.
Yeah. So there are few components when we select a supplier. Number one is like bidding cost. Number two is like qualification of the bidder. Number three is like all other environmental and other component. So this is one of the main component here.
Okay. It's just froze. Going back to the presentation here, any question for the preferential treatment? So I did a lot of research on this. I can tell you this much, and I have seen a lot of other First Nation policies who has established policies for procurement for very long. I don't want to take names in here, but I have researched at least 10 policies before coming to this one. So administration of contracts. So the administration of any contract within this policy will still be done by the manager or the director of the relevant department who needs the job, and they will have the primary responsibility of the administration and enforcement of this policy in each contract. And they have to include if everything is satisfactory as done within the scope of the contract itself. Any question?
No.
It is very straightforward, easy to follow.
Nice.
Only confusion is we have to, like, which adds to my department, is maintaining that list.
Printed version.
I do not, but I can print it.
Printed.
Yeah.
Signature plot.
So all good. Any questions?
Yeah.
Questions?
Good.
Okay. That's all from me today.
In the printed version is signature and then
Thank you. Next will be PC provincial election.
that we are going on to the challenge.
Thank you, Zawad.
Thank you, Lord.
Next one is PC provincial elections.
So, talking about just to provide an update, so it is a very short thing. So, you know that BC province, there is an election coming up, the provincial election. So, they set up some new electoral areas. So, they reached out to us, and we have engaged Tammy for that, since Tammy is the membership clerk. So, there will be an election in 104 on Wayland Road, election center. And it will be held on October 11, Friday, 2024, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So the electors can come and vote there who is falling in the region, electoral region. We're going to put that notification soon. So there will be Facebook notification, just I'm providing an update to council. And meanwhile, we got a contract, a voting place license agreement contract. We got from province of BC. So since they are using our office, they're gonna pay us for 1 day $150. So that is a contract to sign. We don't just giving it to chief for signature.
People say.
You really, 150?
For one-
150.
150.
150.
150.
Okay.
$150.
Times 6, I just lied.
Then the next please. Yeah, that's the update. We're gonna post it in Facebook and everybody will.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Right? The south side has to vote for over there, and the north side has to vote for.
In Salmon Valley.
What?
Yeah.
They can't just go to the
South
outside?
side is actually voting for Belmont.
Oh. Oh, that's how that works. Because last year I had to go way up on our last term. We had to go way up to the heart there and at that one place to vote.
And just to quick another thing. So for the council portfolio holder guideline, there was a little change. So the change is like previously in portfolio establishment procedure in appointment part, it was written the chief together with the council chair. So that is a misspelling. So the corrected version should be the chief together with all council members appoints the councillor best suited to support the portfolio manager based on their skill and capacity.
Okay.
What's grabbing the, okay?
Implement is what I limit. And we are looking for
Your papers too?
we are looking for the time. So I have a few agenda in camera. So you want to utilize this 15 minutes for this some in camera session. Right?
Okay, Rezi? Rezi? Hi, so we are going to go to in camera and we'll be back after lunch at 1:00. Okay, this one there. here, so it's 160. And we have Chelsea here for department updates for education. Chelsea, you have the floor.
Thank you. 8C Destiny Chelsea Hardy. Sue Bernadette McCory engaged Alu Nolene McCory, Natalie Within. I'm from the Frog Plan. Here is the update for each of you present. We're starting the school process startup. I see Kyle has a bunch of printouts too. Okay. So we just started the school startup process, and we'll be sending out school checks for the families and students. We're currently just finalizing the printing of the checks, and we're aiming to have this out before the end of the month, so before school starts. The post-secondary partnership program, the PSPP, they called us. They called me on Monday, July 29th. It was my first day back to work, and we were initially denied this funding. However, they reached out to see if we would still be interested. This funding is to reconstruct 3 CNC classes in partnership with the Early Childhood Education program there to highlight and bring forward LTF and pedagogies and ways of being to help create a deeper connection for local students. The 3 classes that we chose were ECCL 150, Development Perspectives, ECCL 156, Care and Guidance, ECL 172, Health and Wellness. These 3 classes were chosen because if a successful student passes this one of any of these 3 classes, they can apply to the BC ECE registry for their assistant license to practice to help build capacity for the new childcare center for substitutes or assistants that can help cover on the floor. I have been in contact with the elder coordinator, Kristen Seymour, and hoping that she can help us guide the education team to an elder or knowledge keeper that would be willing to take up this work. Any questions about that? So there has been 3 announcements made in the last week and a half on the website for the education team. We are currently looking for a language teacher. We have 6-year funding through Finesse, and we are hoping that somebody from the village will apply. So please apply, somebody. We are in need of a tutor, and we're hoping to have the tutor secured by September to offer tutoring once a week here on the north side and once a week on the south side. And then we also have started the LOA reminders for the post-secondary students. So if you're a post-secondary student listening, please do your check-in if you haven't done that so I can process your living out allowance. Apologies, I started on the back side. We currently have 20 post-secondary students. We currently have 21 post-secondary students, and there's a new process. If you're wanting to apply to the post-secondary schooling, you need to follow up with the JOT form, which is located on the website under the education department. And we are starting the process of back to school. So as of today, August 16th, we actually have 105 students signed up for backpacks. So I've never shopped for so many school supplies in my life. And we've been preparing all the backpacks, and slowly we have families and students coming in, picking them up. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from these backpacks. It's been practice to get them from the Friendship Center, but there was some negative feedback about the low quality of supplies in there. So we were successful in securing funding to make our own. So that's what we have been doing. And the students that have been shadowing have been a great help because they have put together the last 60 for us.
Yes.
Well, I know, right? But is it 2.5 weeks?
Yes. Cool. That is the update for the education team at Mullins. And the BC, it's so I have tried to contact Stephanie multiple times, both Topic and Zawad have been CC'd, and there has been no communication. I've been trying to phone the school district with no luck, trying to get through. Josh, I don't know if you have somebody that you can recommend.
Thank you on holidays.
Okay, because I tried multiple times and with no luck. I have made it very clear that we do want to secure this funding and that we are in need of it. There's just been no communication back yet.
I think Chelsea already called a few times there. Nobody's gonna pick up the phone, so Chelsea sent the email, then call multiple times, then follow up email.
Yeah, and the school district is like right now with school summer holidays, you have to phone and make an appointment, and like no one's answering the phone at the school district.
Not till next week.
We're gonna keep on trying.
Wendy?
Yeah, I was just wondering, because since COVID for the last few years, there was so much issues with busing.
Yes.
Is that gonna, is it still on the roll or?
That's what this plan is for, is to have a bus that's secured for both sides.
Oh.
So that it will hopefully be a much smoother transition, because it has been highlighted that is our biggest
Yeah.
problem for students
Yeah,
within the village, is the lack of continual
yes,
bus.
yeah. Because, there's a lot of times there when the bus didn't come and didn't inform the parents or anything, they couldn't get their kids to school because they didn't have any vehicle or no means or whatever, right? So the kids were missing school.
Yes, yeah, which is not fair to the kids. So that's what this funding is. I've made it very clear that we're wanting the funding. There's just been no communication back.
Okay, I just was curious. Thank you.
No,
We'll keep on doing it. Yeah. Yeah, because that busing is really unpredictable.
Good job.
Good job.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck with the school district.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just march right down there. I did.
There's no there.
Oh my God. All right, yeah. I forgot it's summer still. Yeah.
I'll get it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I think should be.
Thank you, Chelsea. Good job.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thanks for coming out.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Good luck. What's up? Just camera this moment.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
Should be checked to see. You just forward the update of the. Not about the membership.
We can talk to him. Okay, so next will be housing.
Tracy, can you please send Derek in? Yeah.
Here we go. You see the Okay, so change of plans. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here today. We are going to go in camera rest of the afternoon. Resi and community members, we are going to go in camera for the rest of the afternoon. So enjoy your afternoon and your weekend, and see you at the next meeting. They were all